Welcome to the Long Shortcut, the podcast where two startup enthusiasts, Owen and myself, James, dive into the roller coaster ride of building businesses.
We're not here to hand out perfect playbooks. There is no such thing. But we're also not going to pretend we have it all figured out. We most certainly have not. We're here to talk about the real journey, the ups and downs, the wins, and the, I didn't see that coming moments we've experienced over our careers.
I know that you've written the next line that I'm supposed to say here, but I'm going to just break from script really quickly and say that one of our other founders has sent a picture of a beer on a Friday night. What are we doing recording a podcast? Something has gone wrong somewhere. Back to the script. We want to turn ideas into something real. It doesn't always follow a straight path. It most certainly is a long shortcut, unexpected, unpredictable, and full of lessons.
Yes. So if you're into this, into startups, into big ideas, entrepreneurship, or you just want to hear how others are navigating the chaos, you're in good company. Let's get into it. Right, James. So we're on the long shortcut. We are both self-certified startup enthusiasts, but who are we to be hosting this podcast?
Well, definitely got the medal. I would say that I am an accidental founder. When I was 21, I was working for a company just out of university, and they made me redundant. And like in those times, those unfortunate times where you find yourself out of a job, a friend of mine offered me a consulting gig, and I needed to create a company to be able to do that. And just kind of started from there, really, and built up a consulting business, had a couple of product companies along the way. It is definitely a bug, and once you've got it, it's exciting, and I wouldn't do anything else. How about yourself?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have described it for me as a bug, more of a drug. Right. So, I against my parents' best wishes, I thought the sensible career choice was one in theatre. So I went off to university, I studied theatre, and then decided, because I couldn't really get a job, that the best thing to do was set up a theatre company. Let me tell anybody out there that's looking at a job in theatre, right? It does not pay you, right?
Nope.
So at the age of 21, I'd set up my first company, and the age of 22, I had filed my first liquidation of a company. So, not a great start for an entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. Don't think the bank manager said congratulations at the time.
I'm sure not, but I'm sure not.
But for me, then I was hooked. I'd tasted that drug, and I wanted more of that startup life. But the reality, over 20, no, it'll be 30, nearly 30 years now. Ouch.
Don't tell anyone.
No. So over those, nearly 30 years, I've spent most of it within startups. All right. I've worked either in my own startups as an entrepreneur, but I've also ventured into other people's startups. All right. Sort of startups that have maybe started in the US and they've come over to Europe, and I've joined them. And for me, and this might be a made up word, I've looked at them as on entrepreneurial experiences. So I've been an entrepreneur inside somebody else's startup. I think I should coin that phrase.
I think you've your suspicion of making that up. I think that you definitely made that up. One thing I found about founding companies and whatever, I think I found myself in a place where I'm now unemployable. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but having run my own thing for such a long time, I think that part of my brain, the employed brain, that doesn't exist anymore. So I make startups because I have to.
Yeah, and you are right. You're either unemployable or employable in a very particular skill set. Today I'm employed within Railware, which is a US-based startup that makes a wearable device. For me coming into that, it was into the unknown, right? There was no script as to what we were to do. My first job was, we need a channel program. And I'm like, hang on, what do you mean you don't have a channel program? You've employed me as the channel manager. Why am I, So it was a case of write the channel program and build the entire ecosystem around it and all of the systems, so it's very much about that entrepreneurial spirit within a company.
I think that's really key when, I'm going to balance unemployable with, you're right, if it's the right opportunity. I think what's great about Realware, and I was previously at Realware as well, is you have a certain amount of freedom where you're expected and encouraged to act like you're running your own business unit and so forth. I think that's probably what makes Realware, for me at least, a job that I was able to do, even though I'm naturally, I think, in my own head, a founder. But now that I find myself looking for different opportunities and whatever, I think going back into doing my own thing makes a huge amount more sense, and I'm more comfortable with that excitement that comes with having your own startup.
Yes. So good opportunity, James. Tell us, what's your new startup?
What's my new startup? I mean, like any good founder, I have a few, because one's not enough. I think the thing that's most prominent at the moment is a product called Key and Box. Key and Box is a security application. It came from a real need that I had. My accountant back in October asked me for a copy of a bank statement for some verification, and I didn't have a good secure way of sending it to him. I didn't want to do it over Dropbox or email or WhatsApp because I didn't trust that data lying around. So, like any nerd, I built my own system to solve that problem. And then, of course, I invited you to join me maybe 2 or 3 months after that, which was quite exciting. The other startup, still a bit embryonic at the moment. I'm a firm believer in hands-free computing, and I think that we're now at a place where AI can help a frontline worker solve problems at the field, at the sharp end. So we're kind of finding ourselves at this intersection of AI and hands-free technology, and how can they work together. I'm still fleshing out the ideas, still very early, but yeah, those two things at the moment. That's what's going on for me. So, how about
Awesome.
yourself?
Yes, as you mentioned there, the timing of our conversation before Christmas was very timely. Where, at the same time your accountant was looking for documentations for me, on a personal level, I was having to share documents with a legal company. And I reached out to you and go, like, how do I do this? Right? How do I create a password protected box, and that's when you shared with me what you were doing. And I've been involved with you as a strategic consultant or advisor since, and working with some of the team then to build up the systems and get everything working properly. And it's a lot of fun to see how that's developing.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely, absolutely.
you talk about AI, all right, and that's one of the things that, is very exciting for founders or entrepreneurs today, is they have so much more tools available through
Yeah.
AI, but it can be a minefield.
Mm. Yeah.
How do you determine what is a good AI, or what AI product should I be using in my business if I'm setting one up?
That is a really difficult question to answer. I mean,
We did
AI
we
as a
we didn't come
technology
here
has
to
been
answer the
around.
simple questions.
No, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, AI has been around forever in the world of computing, and what AI really means at its core level is number prediction, which sounds completely different to the type of AI that we're all used to. But that's really what it's doing. It's just predicting numbers. Um, that's all the tech side. Only people like me care about that. What does that
Mm.
mean for running
Yes.
a business? Is if you're writing lots of emails to customers, you can get the AI to check your email for tone to make sure that you've said it in the right way in a professional manner. Or, if you want to explore 20 different marketing slogans for your new startup, you can go and ask the AI to figure out and do some testing. I think one of the best things that's happened in the world of AI marketing is when Microsoft started calling it Copilot. AI is not going to do a job for you. It can, but it shouldn't. AI is going to be there to guide your hand through your daily journey. And there are so many tools out there. And I think in the next episode, we're going to go into some of the good tools and some of the bad tools. But I think for today, if you're not using ChatGPT, you should. And the best way of using ChatGPT is ask it how you should use it, and it will tell you. And I think that really for me is a game changer. And I know you've had some interesting
Yeah.
adventures with ChatGPT in the past few days.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So, if I think back to some of the startups and companies I was involved with over the years, I utilized tools, and maybe some of these are still relevant today, like Fiverr and Freelancer, and, some of these introduction platforms that connected me with other people that could do the job better than I can. But one of the things that Anita was working on. Anita is head of our inside sales team at Key and Box. She was building a channel program, right? So later this year, we'll be introducing a channel ecosystem to Key and Box. So Anita used all her experience to come up with a framework, right? But I then had got sucked in, if you like, to the whole ChatGPT deep research feature, right? When I say sucked in, right, I don't think I spoke to anybody over the Easter weekend, right? It was literally when work finished at 5 o'clock on Friday through to Tuesday morning, it was head down into ChatGPT and so many stuff. It was brilliant. But a lot of these tools, they suck you in, and, they're facilitating productivity both ways, right?
Yeah.
They're making some things much better and other things so much longer and harder and more difficult. But the idea was I was able to put in the information, and then somehow, I don't understand how it works. You talk about number calculations and pattern recognition and all of that. No clue how it does it, but it went off and it came back 15 minutes later with a comprehensive partner program that we could then just tweak and build into the Key and Box partner program.
No, that's awesome. I think maybe for a future episode, we should perhaps do like a tutorial, share the screen and do a deep research session on, how do you do a marketing plan or something with that. That would be
I'll sign up for that session.
Yeah, will you? Well, you'll be giving it, so that's great. But yes, I'm glad you're going to sign up for your own session. That is good. I mean, we've got a couple of points that we want to hit on this episode. I think from the purpose of this podcast, why have we done this podcast? I think that we both enjoy obviously startups, talking about startups. I think there are so many lessons and pitfalls that people fall into, and sometimes it's very valid to learn from your own experience. To have your own scar tissue is very important. But other times there are caves with dragons, and I don't know about you, but I'd like to know which caves have dragons in them before I go into them, because somebody has told me beforehand. So that's what I'd like to get out of this podcast. What do you want to get out of this podcast?
Yeah, so for me, there's so many people, enthusiasts out there that are just interested to hear the stories about people that are involved in startups. For many, the startup scene is this sort of wonderful ecosystem over there that's for other people, but they still want to enjoy it from a distance. And for others, they want to get involved, but they don't necessarily know how. The whole thought that, well, you need money to make money, and sure. You can start a business today with next to nothing, with all of the tools that are available. But for others, it takes investment up front. So for me, it's about sharing our experiences over 20, 30 years, some of the stories that we've encountered, I tell the story at different sessions about when I first came to Cork. I was able to sort of bluff, I think is the word. Lie might be another word for it, but I bluffed my way into a job as a theatre producer. And I could only get away with that because LinkedIn didn't exist back then,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So it's using and not using tools to the best of your ability, and just giving people the confidence that they can do it if they want.
No, fantastic. I definitely think a future episode. I mean, just for the audience, we've got a couple planned out, but I certainly think that should you bootstrap or should you raise money, that absolutely is a decision that every founder is going to face, and that is a really deep conversation. I think we should probably bring in a couple of guests for that one as well to get some other perspectives on that. That would be that would be amazing.
Absolutely, because one thing I was never good at was raising the money. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
The
was
spending is fine, but the
very
raising, yeah,
accomplished at spending the money.
yeah, no, absolutely. So that's kind of more of the history and the but for some of the meat for this particular episode at the moment, you and I have both got, for better word, let's call them day jobs. On my side, I'm a software consultant by day, um, and by night, building a startup. On your side, you have got a day job,
Yep.
and building side ventures. You first. How do you juggle, those two quite kind of competing, um, uh, I guess, goals
Yeah.
or
It
parts of your
is a
life?
challenge, and it does require a lot of commitment and
Yeah.
sacrifice, right?
Yep.
You've got to be disciplined in your day job, right? I have a job to do. I'm VP of operations, so I've a lot of moving parts that I need to manage, and a really top class team working with me at Railware. So I have to focus 100% on them and getting the objectives of the business addressed.
Mhm.
But come the evening time, right? Do I sit and watch TV? Not a
Mhm.
huge TV fan. Do I,
Mhm.
read a book, or do I go back and start to build something or consult or advise? Sorry, interrupted there. So for me, it's very much about discipline and then
Yeah.
perseverance. One of the reasons we call this the long shortcut is because for 30 years, it's only a matter of time now before I'm an overnight success. I will keep trying,
Of course.
right? And someday it's going to happen, and everybody will go, didn't see that coming.
No, no. This time next year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. No, that's. I think discipline is really important. I find that sometimes it really helps having different sets of equipment, like one laptop for one project, another laptop for another, because I think other times it's too easy to to kind of drift into the other thing, especially when, if you take, for example, your personal life and your home life, a lot of people say it's very important to have a home office as a room that you can close, the door on. And I know, kind of student living, you have your, which neither of us are in, but you have your desk and your bed in the same room. That is actually really unhealthy, and I think the same thing applies to when you're juggling a day job and a startup. That you need the ability to open the door on one, close the door on another, and to have that very clear separation, because otherwise you'll be doing a disservice to both if you start bleeding them in.
Oh, couldn't disagree more, or couldn't agree more. Sorry. So, well, one of the habits I have, whenever I need that delineation between my day job and my nighttime project, if you want to call it that, is I go to the gym.
Yeah.
So 6:30 in the evening, I go to the gym, I do my hours workout, and then that's very much right. Moving on from that afterwards, 7:30 onwards is my evening project,
Yeah.
and it's a nice separation of time. And like you say, I've two different setups at home. You know, I've my work setup. It's all of my day-to-day, work material is there and available to hand. And when I'm working on something else, for me, it's actually in a different room. So my own personal setup there as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I said it not knowing that you did that as well. So that's great that we've both got
Yeah,
the same
I think
idea of
you
that.
have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You do. It's tricky carrying around two phones. Although we both have a mutual friend who has far too many devices. So I guess if he, who I think may be listening,
Probably is.
has I don't know how many more devices he's got, but if he can do it, then we can do it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, that's great. I think that's probably enough for the first episode. You know, we just wanted to introduce ourselves, talk about why we want to do this. What does the next episode look like, Owen? Just to tease our listeners.
Yeah. So I think with all startups, it all starts with an idea.
Yeah, it
So
does.
next episode, it's going to be ideas are cheap.
Yep, they certainly
So
are.
they are. Everybody has ideas, but what do you do with them?
All right. Well, that's I'm looking forward to that because I guess we'll record that soon. Well, thank you very much, Owen. This has been a great first episode. I look forward to doing this series with you.
Yeah.
To the listeners, we are probably going to be on YouTube and Spotify. We haven't sorted that out yet, but if you hear this on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, please like and subscribe. That would be
Please do.
great. And thank you for tuning in to the Long Shortcut.
Thank you very much.